Hello! I am the Witch of Jasmine and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a reading for, there we go, for Aquarius moons. How are you guys doing today? Hope you're doing well. Oh my gosh, there's been so much talk about Aquarius energy the last few weeks, I guess. So I hope you guys are doing good. I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for stopping by. I would love to give you a reading. See what's going on with you guys and see if I can offer some help. That would be nice. So as I'm shuffling out your cards that are coming out very quickly, okay, sorry. As I'm shuffling out your cards that are coming out very quickly, I invite you to take some deep breaths to calm yourself, ground yourself, center yourself, get relaxed, get comfy. Okay, we have a bonus card. That's fun. Love bonus cards. All right, let's take a look at your cards. Okay, so for the Oracle card, we have Luck. Ooh. With Capricorn and the water element. All right, and for your tarot cards, we have 10 of Cups, Three of Cups reversed, the Devil, Ten of Wands, the High Priest reversed, aka the Hierophant reversed, and the Wild Hunt, aka the Tower. And then we will flip this card over whenever I feel like it's time to flip it over. Okay, Aquarius moons, we've got a lot of strong players here, I'm not gonna lie. But I don't want you to be scared, okay? So I think we're talking about a transition time. And I think this is one of those readings where, you know, even though this might look a little scary and a little intimidating, it's not telling you this because, you know, the cards want you to be scared and intimidated, but because knowing this now, I don't know, I'm just kind of getting the feeling that this is a little more of a future thing, kind of like a what's ahead thing, but it's certainly possible that for some of you this is what's happening now. But I kind of just feel like it's more of a future thing. But it's so that you can be prepared for it and be ready and kind of just mentally get in a spot where when these things do arrive, you'll be ready and it'll be easier, okay? So, we have 10 of Cups and 10 of Wands, which, yes, 10 cards, they signify the end of something. Ten of Cups. Let's start there. I love Ten of Cups. It's one of the best cards to see in the deck, right? Ten of Cups is the happily ever after card. I mean, with Ten of Wands, there is this feeling of there is some sort of burden, right? It's like, okay, you got what you wanted. Things are, in a much better place now. We're wrapping up this chapter, going to move on to the next. But I think there is some part of you that is feeling overburdened, right? Happy, like, yes, you got this thing that you wanted, but it's a little more work than you thought it would be, or it's just for whatever reason not quite what you thought what you thought it would be. So you're kind of like, oh, I didn't totally know it was going to be like this, or well, I didn't know I'd have to do all of that, or well, I really don't like this part and I wasn't super expecting that. I thought I'd be better at this, but I guess I'm not. And that's what Ten of Wands. I call Ten of Wands the plot twist card because it's like, woo, you got what you wanted. You worked so hard for this, but plot twist, it's not exactly what you thought it would be. And it's because you have done so much good, hard work getting to where you're at, right? That is for sure. That is for sure. But there's still more to do, right? That's life. And I think in this next chapter, we're going to be dealing with this devil. Now, the devil, like all things in tarot, is a symbol, right? We're not talking about any literal demon or any entity at all, probably other than you. The devil represents, he can represent addiction. He represents instant gratification, then that temptation, right? You can see in this imagery, I really like the imagery in this card because you can see he's offering these young children money and ice cream, and these kids are like, well, I would like that, but something about this feels weird. And you can see this like volcano that's about to erupt in the background, right? And it's so cute because there's these little kittens here who are like, no, don't trust him. Don't do it, So the devil is something that maybe you've been turning to, maybe some sort of coping mechanism. It could certainly even be as abstract as some sort of mental thing that you rely on, some sort of unhealthy habit that needs to be shed. And I think that is what is making you feel this Ten of Wands, is because you have this devil that you're still working with. And in this next chapter, in order to make this thing that you've worked so hard for, in order to make it a little more bearable and tolerable, we need to take care of that devil. Now, we do have the Tower. For those of you who don't know, the Tower is a symbol, right? If you can picture a tower that has been kind of cracking at the seams for a little while, there's been this little bit kind of crumbling and that little bit crumbling, and there hasn't really been any real work to fix it. It's just kind of been like loosely patched up and all that. But suddenly one day, the tower just crashes and burns. It's just completely destroyed. That is what the tower represents. It's things crashing and burning. But the good thing about the tower is that the tower that was there previously was not working. It was falling apart. It's just that nobody wanted to really address it. Nobody really wanted to fix it. And because that was just a system that wasn't working, it had to end so that you can build a much better tower. It's like that saying, you gotta crack some eggs to bake a cake, right? Kind of like that. That's what the Tower describes. So it is possible that when we actually address this devil, whatever this is for you, I mean, I'm not going to say that it is literally going to be a Tower moment, but it might even just feel like that, you know? Because when we address these dark parts of ourselves, especially the parts of ourselves that a lot of times with the devil, we're talking about things that are our coping mechanisms, right? So having to find new coping mechanisms can be really tough, because the whole reason we have a coping mechanism is because that's what feels comfortable, right? But unfortunately, I think the one that needs to be dealt with for you is one that is, you know, it's not good for you. It's making things worse. And I think you can already feel it, right? Feel the effects of this right now with this 10 of Wands. Okay, so before I get into this part, because these are just some extra little details, let's flip over this card, see what it says. 2 of Pentacles. Okay. So as you are maybe heading more towards this chapter where we're going to have to start dealing with this, some things I want you to keep in mind. And we'll start here with this 2 of Pentacles. 2 of Pentacles is about balance. Balancing 2 big things, right? Like a work-life balance, a, being with your family, but also being with your friends, being with your partner, but also having outside friends, being healthy, but also making more fun, less healthy decisions, right? It's balancing those like 2 big things. So I mean, depending on what we're talking about here, the devil could very much be referring to something that you need to just completely cut out of your life. But I'm wondering, because we have this 2 of Pentacles, maybe this is just more something that just needs to be balanced, right? Like spending money, right? Maybe you're having some sort of problem with overspending, like a shopping addiction, or being a little too reliant on retail therapy, right? Just as an example. You can't just not ever spend money ever, right? That's not realistic. You just have to learn how to spend money in a more balanced way. I think that's what this 2 of Pentacles is telling me. So maybe something you want to start considering, right, is what is it again? For some of you, this might just be something that needs to be completely cut out. Like maybe there's some sort of like hard drug that you just need to stop taking, right? That's one thing. Or I don't know. I don't do drugs. I shouldn't talk about that. Anyway, I'm just as an example, okay? But I think for some of you, and maybe most of you, it's something that just needs to be balanced. So maybe now might be a good time to kind of consider, what would that look like if it was a little more balanced, right? Maybe what's a step I can take towards balance? Might be a good idea. And then we also have this 3 of Cups with the High Priest reversed, the Hierophant reversed. And it makes me wonder, because with 3 of Cups, that is the friendship card. But when we have it reversed, that makes me feel like maybe, especially in the context of this reading, I'm wondering if there are some people, specifically friends, but people who are not the best influence on you. Like going back to the money spending example, maybe you have a friend or a group of friends or whatever who every time you see them, you spend money, right? Maybe they have a lot more money than you and are able to just spend. And and be fine and comfortable, but you're not, right? You spend as much as them, but it's a big problem for you. You can't necessarily pay your bills the way you need to, right? So I'm wondering, I'm not gonna say that you necessarily need to like cut them off, right? But it's possible that you might want to rethink any relationships or just reconsider any relationships that might be kind of feeding whatever this is. That might mean taking a step back. That might mean just doing different things with those people, you know? I think it's interesting, though, that we do have this High Priest reversed, Hierophant reversed, because that talks about doing things, the unconventional thing, going down the path less beaten, right? But I'm just, well, let me put it this way, kind of as like another example. If the devil is talking about alcohol, drinking for you, right? And you decide that you think your best course of action is to go sober, right? Well, that's not super typical, right? That's a little at least in the culture and society I'm in, right? It's very normal when you're going out with friends to have a drink, right? When there's a holiday party, people drink. So not doing that, abstaining from that is kind of a little unconventional. And that's like the feeling I'm getting here is like, because you're doing something that's a little unconventional, but ultimately what you need to do and what's best for you, it might be hard to make this work. I'm not going to say impossible, but it's possible that might be a challenge, right? If you're kind of like, hey, I would love to hang out with you guys again, but maybe we can just go to a restaurant and have a dinner, you know, rather than just going to a bar. And then they all go and then they all have drinks and don't understand why you're not drinking. And, you know, I just feel like there might be some conflict here. Not going to say that for sure. It's just possible. But I think the silver lining is that, I mean, again, using our example, right? I'm just throwing out examples. You know, if these are people who you can't hang out with because they need to be drinking and you can't drink, and that's enough of a problem that you're struggling to keep up that relationship, maybe it's not the best relationship, right? Yeah, so just some things to consider. But let me wrap this up with some good news, okay? Number 1, 10 of Cups. I love to see 10 of Cups. That's one of the best cards. It tells me you have been doing some really, really great work and it's been paying off. I think a lot of it was very emotional as well, being that we have that Cups. Cups energy, that's emotions and feelings. So that's really nice to see. And the other really, really, really great thing is this luck card. Luck is on your side. Okay? And I do not usually say that very definitively, but it's true. I think there's going to be some parts in this next chapter that make you feel kind of uneasy and make you feel like you're doing something wrong. But I hope you can see that those are just growing pains, and that if you can trust the process, bring more balance into your life, right? And hopefully keep this tower crash from being too big of a deal, right? If we know it's going to happen ahead of time, we can plan for it and it won't be so scary and sudden when it happens. Or you can just choose to bring the tower down peacefully instead of letting it crash, right? My point is, it doesn't have to be big and scary. We're hearing about this now so that you can carry it with you. And, you know, as long as you're doing your best, I really think, well, I know you're going to be okay. Of course you're going to be okay. But hopefully we can go through this as smoothly as possible, right? So, with all this being said, if you have any questions about this or if you'd like any part of this clarified, please let me know. You can leave a comment or you can just reach out to me, whichever you prefer. If you're feeling particularly drawn to any of these cards or if you'd like a little more information on any of them, on the shorts part of my channel, I have hundreds of shorts videos where I talk about each of the cards. I talk about their upright meaning, their reverse meaning, as well as any symbolism within them. So, if you'd like some information on that, feel free to check that out. But Aquarius moons, I'm sorry to give you such a heavy reading, but ultimately it's for the best, right? I really do believe so. So I'm wishing you and sending you so much strength through this, because I know you can do it. I know you can do it. And this is so one of those things that, like, as much as it sucks going through it, coming out on the other side, you will be so thankful that you did. You will be so grateful that you did, and so proud of yourself. And I will be proud of you too, okay? Aquarius moons, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye!